So we know Jesus died, right?
Yeah.
Everybody know he got up and left.
Uh-huh.
So Moses died, right?
Mm-hmm.
So where was Moses buried?
Who knows? Moses was buried over there in our land.
What anybody in the Bible, King James, where he buried?
Ooh, what does that
So
have
how
to do
you
with
know?
anything?
How you know everything about what he wrote? But when it comes down to his death, y'all forget it. The most sacred thing that you should remember is his death.
No.
So all of a sudden, your memory going blank about their death.
No, Christ didn't even tell us to worry about his death.
Besides Jesus, because we know he left. We know he got up and left.
Your great grandfather, where was he buried?
In that great cemetery where my great grand buried.
Where about, sir?
In Mississippi.
Where about in Mississippi?
In Lowndes County, Mississippi.
Where about?
Behind the original church where it always
and who told you that? Listen,
who told you
don't
wrote that
go
book?
about the Bible. We're on the question now. How did you know your great grandfather was buried behind the cemetery down in Mississippi?
You go into that church, listen to that great Bible story. They told you
you still bringing forth the Bible.
Yeah.
How do you know the information that I just asked you?
No.
How did you know where your grandfather from the 6th generation before you, how do you know where he was buried?
When you answer my question, I answer yours.
Cause I wanna turn a life, yeah. If I want the kingdom, I know that gon' be the price, yeah. Kill my body, can I kill my soul? Stay doing the work, you know that we be on the road, hey, yeah.
Why did God take us through slavery? Get Deuteronomy 28:15. You said you don't know?
That's what you supposed to be out here to teach me and tell me.
I'm going to it. I just called it. But that's just another cliche saying in our communities where the white man
I've been going
wrote
through this ever
the
since
book.
I was an adolescent.
No, sir. We never applied this Bible. Dr. Martin Luther King didn't apply. Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, Medgar Evers, none of the black leaders actually applied this Bible.
What's your agenda?
Is to apply the Bible, and once we start applying the Bible, guess what God is going to do?
What?
God is going to set us back in order to where we're now rulers over the same people that that has enslaved us. Right. But this is the real reason why God chose us to go through what we went through outside of the covenant that he made. Read what you got.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28.
No, give me Amos 3.
Yes, sir.
Give me Amos 3, where he's going to punish us and only us for a particular reason. Because God only made a covenant with Abraham, from Abraham to Isaac, from Isaac to Jacob. And from Jacob, the 12 tribes of Israel, the so-called blacks, Hispanic, and Native American. It ain't by coincidence that systematically all over the earth, we have been enslaved still to this day. Read what you got.
The book of Amos, chapter 3 and verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord hath spoken against you, O children of Israel.
Who the Lord talking to this? He's talking to who? He's talking to Israel, right? Read on.
Against the whole family, which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only.
You who?
You only.
Out of all the nations of the earth, God said, you only what?
Have I known of all the families of the earth.
God said, out of all the families that he created, he only know us. Read.
Therefore, I will punish you.
I'll do what?
I will punish you.
Who went through this right here, sis? Out of all the nations on the earth, who went through this? Huh? Did any other nations go through chattel slavery like we did? All right, read on.
Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities.
For all our what? What that means? What you think that means? For all of our sins that we are currently committing and that our foremothers and forefathers committing, that's the reason why God said, I'm going to punish you and you only. Right. Because he made a covenant with us to keep his laws, statutes, and commandments. Now today, Memphis is the Bible Belt, but guess what? Memphis is number in the top 10 when it comes to homicides. Why is that? Why we have so much killing in Memphis when it's supposed to be the Bible Belt that has the most churches in the state of Tennessee? Go to Deuteronomy 28:15. Because it says, I was going to punish you and only you because of the sins that y'all are committing against God. Read on.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15.
You said Deuteronomy is a what?
It's a person or just a chapter?
No, it's a chapter in the book. And this book have 88 books.
What is Deuteronomy,
in it.
though?
Deuteronomy is the 4th book that Moses wrote concerning the history of the children of Israel coming out of the land of Egypt, which was another black nation.
He got crossed.
We reinstituted the laws that God gave us coming out of the land of Exodus.
So I
in
asked them
Deuteronomy.
guys over there, I said, y'all want me to come and listen to this, but I want y'all to answer one question. Okay, everybody in that Bible, you said Moses wrote Deuteronomy.
Moses did write Deuteronomy.
Okay.
Yeah, Moses wrote Deuteronomy, the first 5 books.
Okay, well answer that question again. So we know Jesus died, right?
Yeah.
Everybody know he got up and left.
So
So Moses died, right? So where was Moses buried?
who knows? Moses was buried over there in our land.
What anybody in the Bible, King James, where he buried?
What does that
So
have
how
to do
you
with
know
anything?
how you know everything about what he wrote, but when it come down to his death, y'all forget it. The most sacred thing that you should remember is his death.
No.
So all of a sudden their memory going blank about their death.
No, Christ didn't even tell us to worry about his death.
Out of all them people in the Bible, you couldn't give me one grade. You asked me to recite one thing in the Bible. You tell me what one person buried in the Bible besides Jesus. 'Cause we know he left. We know he got up and left.
Your great grandfather, where was he buried?
In that great cemetery where my great grand buried.
Whereabouts, sir?
In Mississippi.
Where about in Mississippi?
In Lowndes County, Mississippi.
Where about?
Behind the original church where it always been.
And who told you that?
History coming up told us that. Same
What
people that tell you
history?
that.
What history, bro?
the
What
same
history you grew up that told you that?
Just like your Bible history
Now,
telling you what
listen,
Deuteronomy.
listen, sir.
Who told
Don't-
you that
listen,
Moses wrote that book?
Listen,
Who told you Moses wrote that
Don't go
book?
about the Bible. We're on the question now. How did you know your great grandfather was buried behind the cemetery down
When
in
you
Mississippi?
go into that church, listen to that great Bible story.
Hold
They
on,
told you
sir.
who all behind buried
You
in
still
the
bringing
church.
forth the Bible.
Yeah.
How do
That's
you
what you
know
coming
the
to me with,
information
the
that I
Bible.
just asked you?
No.
How did you know where your grandfather from the 6th generation before you, how do you know where he was buried?
When you answer my question, I answer yours.
Nah, cause
I got a question.
the thing about it is,
You out
you want
here-
me to tell
so
you
you
why?
out here-
You want me to tell you why that
spreading
don't
every
do
word
that
in that
matter
Bible,
in
but you
regards
can't
to
tell
where
me.
your great grandfather was
what
raised
Jesus
up?
buried then?
Huh? What does it matter now in today's time when we're suffering economically?
So where was Jesus buried?
Huh? What does it matter where my great grandfather was buried at in regards to this Bible and what it says we have to actually apply?
Right.
Huh? You see what I'm saying?
And he didn't even stay there.
So the thing
where the rest
is,
of them folks
the
at?
death and where our forefathers was buried at has no precedent on God changing our current conditions.
Right.
That's the mind of the Negro trying to be smarter than God. Meanwhile, he has no answers to why we're going through what we're going through. And the answers is right here. Read what you got.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken.
It says, it's going to eventually come to pass if you wouldn't hearken, listening, what he don't want to do. Because one thing about the Negro, they hate change. They speak about the conditions of our people. They want that change, but when it's time for them to change mentally, physically, we have a problem. Now everybody wrote the book. What book man didn't write? Huh?
You got a physically same
What your
thing.
question is, sis?
How come you all don't read from the Quran?
This Bible right here, right?
No, I'm not.
We wrote by the same.
This Bible right here, he don't know history whatsoever. But this Bible right here, the word Quran, what does Quran means? It means to recite.
Right.
Guess what book was before the Quran? This. Guess what the book of Quran is reciting? This.
Right.
The first 5 books of Moses, guess where that's at? It's within the Quran. The Quran came like 630 some years after the Bible. This was already instituted, laws, guidelines, rituals, ceremonies, so on and so forth on what we needed to do to get back right with our God. Now the religion of Quran, right? What they worship, who is their God? Allah is their God. And in order to be a real Muslim, what do you have to go to Mecca and do? Huh? You got to go around something a couple of times and you got to stick your head in it and kiss it, so on and so forth.
Wake 'em up.
What you think that is?
A ritual.
That's a tradition of man.
Right.
And that's the copper stone that's in Mecca. You know, Mecca was one of the largest slave ports for us, our people, in that area over there. So why would we hearken down and follow the religions of our slave master? That's just like following this guy right here. Who that is? We don't know. Well, that was Pope Alexander VI's son, Caesar Borgia. But this was an actual real man, homosexual that married his sister. You think us knowing where he buried take precedence on any and everything or anything at all? So why do we come up with ideas, well, if you could tell me where they were buried at, you know what I'm saying, so on and so forth. What point are we proving by knowing the burial place of anybody? It don't make sense. We just want to be smart to where we can figure out an avenue to lead from what this Bible say do, because this Bible is the only book that's going to have us to think about what we're doing, and we'll have to change what we're doing. Read on.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments.
You hear that? To observe and to do all his commandments. Read.
And his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
You see what he said? If we didn't want to listen to him, we was going to be cursed as a nation of people. Just like you. Are you a parent? Got any nephews, nieces? So if you keeping your nephews and nieces and you give them guidelines on what they supposed to do, clean your room up, do this, so on and so forth, or whatever the case may be, and they don't do it, what tends to happen? From a parental point of view.
They misbehaving.
They misbehaving what?
You discipline them.
Discipline. That's how God is. The curses that he put upon us, these things that happen to us, these are disciplinary actions for the repercussions of us going against our God laws that he gave us. It's just like a parent. It ain't hard to figure out. We have certain civil laws and guidelines on how we're supposed to conduct ourselves when we're dealing with one another. That's right. And the Lord gave us these things to organize us as a nation in the midst of a crooked nation. Right. Henceforth, that's why we out of control now. But the Lord is putting a squeeze on society, especially the United States of America, to where he's forcing us to come back together. Right. These are the things that we got to basically have our mind on. Because what are some of the questions in regards to all communities that you have? The things that go on in all communities that you see on a regular?
A couple questions. Why does every neighborhood have like a club? You know, like fast food, nothing
liquor stores.
Liquor stores.
And then you can go in predominantly white neighborhoods. And what's in those neighborhoods?
Oh, you got the sandwich shops. You got all of the healthy eating, living, cleaner neighborhoods.
Whole Foods, so on and so forth. Now, give me that in Deuteronomy 28 and 48. That goes, remember, the things that you are explaining, are they good or bad in regards to us?
I mean, it's bad that we don't have it, but it would have been good.
No. I'm saying by us being without these things,
it's bad.
It's bad, right? So that's what God calls a curse. And he said, being the fact that we wouldn't listen to him, he was going to put these curses upon us, just like a parent. You can't stay in my house, and when I give guidelines, rules, and regulations, you can come in there and live as you please. Because it's a certain level of standards that you have, right? So we have standards with God, and until we come to those standards and meet them, God is going to continue to punish us with curses and affliction. Read what you got.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
You hear what the Lord said? He says, therefore you're going to serve your enemies. Us serving our enemies, is the enemy somebody that we should look to help us with anything? Right, because the enemy don't have your best interest, right? Read on.
Which the Lord shall sin against thee.
Who?
Which the Lord shall sin against thee.
It says, who gonna send these enemies against us? The Lord. Read.
And hunger.
And what?
And hunger.
So you mentioned food, right? Why we don't have the best food in our communities versus the other nations, right? Because who did it? Huh? Now, the Lord did it. For why did he do it though? Because we ain't listening. Not didn't. We ain't listening still to this day. Read on.
And in thirst.
And in thirst. Who owns Aquafina? Dasani. Who own these things? Huh? Do we own it? So it's somebody that's outside of our nation that we have to go to when we need food and water, right? These are chief things that we need to be able to survive. Read on.
And in nakedness.
When we want some clothes to wear. On that tag, is it made by a black person? Why not? So how is it we have to go to other nations outside of us when it comes to providing water, providing food, and providing clothes? You know, out of all the nations in the world, we are the only nation that depend on other nations to provide things that we need to live, to substantiate us. And this is the reason why. Because we're so far removed from God, and it comes from the system that was created against us, and all the enemies that God basically put over us. They taught us the Bible. But now, guess what? We can read now. We can research now. We in the day and age of information where you got a smartphone and you can Google and research what you need to research. Now we've cracked the code on this Bible. That's how we know we the people of this book. And until we come back to this book, we're gonna be at the bottom of society. Give me Leviticus 5:1. First, then give me Deuteronomy 22, verse 5. Read what you got in Leviticus 5:1 to show you that these ain't my words and I only could do what it command me to do. Read.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 5 and verse 1. And if a soul sin.
It says it's talking about sin, what we did to go against God, right? It says if a soul sin, read.
And hear the voice of swearing.
And you hear it, read.
And is a witness.
And you visually see it going down. You know how we'll sit back and watch somebody get robbed across the street, but we'll video it, upload it for views and likes. But meanwhile, we won't do what? We won't help them. How? You ain't even got to go over there and intervene. What's the least you can do if you're across the street and you're witnessing a robbery? Call 911. In our communities, we call it what when you do that? Snitching. Is it snitching deemed a good thing or a bad thing? But when it's your grandmother and somebody kicked the door and killed her, do we not want justice? So are we a hypocritical people? Yes. That's the reason why God looked down on us and he hates how we operate with each other. Read.
And if a soul sin and hear the voice of swearing and is a witness, whether he have seen or known of it, if he do not utter it.
If he do not utter it, what that means? What you think that means? If he do not speak concerning it, resolving the issue, snitch. Read.
Then he shall bear his iniquity.
Guess who gonna bear that sin and have to give an account to God when it comes to that sin? You. Because you saw it, you witnessed it go down, and you didn't do anything about it. But meanwhile, if it was you in that situation, you would want somebody to call 911 for you, right? God says, since we deal with sin and we see sin, we got to be able to call it out. Now give me Deuteronomy 22, verse 5, to show you that that is a law that we have to keep. God don't say snitches get stitches. God said snitches relieve the sin off of them to where when it's time for the kingdom, they can get in. Read what you got.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22 and verse 5. The woman,
the who?
The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man.
So it mentioned the woman and the apparel or the attire of a woman. Read.
Neither shall a man put on a woman's garment.
So it says, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. What men wear that they shouldn't be wearing, but it pertains to women?
Bras,
Bras,
underwear,
shirts,
pants.
Well, shirts, we all got shirts on. Yeah, so not so much
So
shirts.
But
you mentioned what else?
Reveal bras, underwear, the revealing clothing.
All right, so what about dresses?
And dresses.
You got shirts, dresses, pantyhose, all that stuff, right? We're on the same page. That basically pertains to a woman, right? And men shouldn't wear that. If a man do wear that, how do you look at him?
A little crazy.
Look crazy, why?
It just don't look right.
It just don't look right. I like that answer. Read what you got from the top.
The woman.
The who now? Who are we talking about now? Okay.
Shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man.
So if the article of clothing for men is deemed to be, you have that men shouldn't wear is skirts, dresses, right? Bras, underwear, pantyhose, so on and so forth. We established that men shouldn't wear that because of why? They look funny, but who does that clothing belong to? Belongs to women. Now it says women, read.
The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man.
So now that we got the article of clothing for women out the way, what are the article of clothing for men that men wear that women shouldn't wear?
I guess like the baggy, extra large baggy pants.
What if they ain't baggy?
I guess just men clothes. Just men clothes.
Like what though? Explain though.
Like your suits.
Got your suits? So explain the suit, the entire suit. There's a suit, you got the tie, you got a lot of different items.
The bow tie.
You got the bow tie,
handkerchief.
the
suit jacket.
The jacket.
The vest underneath.
Vest, what else?
The button up.
The button up.
The dress slacks.
The slacks. What do we call the slacks? Start with a P.
Pants.
Pants.
Right out.
So who do pants belongs to? Because you see, I got pants on, other brothers got pants on. And predominantly before they went into the feminist movement, the pants had the zipper, right? What you think the zipper is for?
The man.
Wow. What about the man?
Your private part.
What?
To keep you covered, I guess.
What is to keep you? You got them on. That keep you covered.
But I don't got
but
a
what
zipper.
about the zipper though?
I don't have a zipper.
I know it, but what about us? We got the zipper on. What purpose do the zipper serves for the man?
Does that show that that's man's clothing compared to?
Well, not so much as it's man clothing, regardless with the zipper or not. But what's in the area of the zipper?
Your private.
Private. And when we have to relieve ourselves, you unzip your pants, you relieve yourself, and then you zip back up.
Yeah.
Why women wear pants? A zipper for the women. The hole back here, right?
Yeah.
Underneath here. So are they zipping and flipping? Nah, they ain't. They ain't zipping and flipping, sis. But in the feminist movement, because when you look at pictures like this, look right here, real quick.
They don't have on pants.
What was the weather condition like in these times? Because it's hot as hell out here.
And they still got on dresses.
And they still had on what? When a woman wear a dress, ventilation wise, it's an open wound down here, right? What does the air is able to do with the dress? It's able to circulate because of the open wound, right? When you wear pants, what do women catch or get?
Yeast infection.
Yeast infection. Why?
Because it's rubbing.
Because it's rubbing, and what else?
It's not breathing.
It's not breathing. God made it to breathe. So even when you get married, do you desire to be married eventually? To the right person, right? Because these niggas crazy out here, especially in Memphis. Don't marry no person from Memphis if he ain't got his mind right, according to the word. But we crazy everywhere. It ain't Memphis alone. It was everywhere.
I'm from Chicago, so.
Oh yeah, they real crazy up there. Chirac. But you desire to be married, right? So when you get married and you're at the altar and the oath, I got you, and the oath is being brought out in regards to the husband and wife duty, so on and so forth. What is going to be your article of clothing? To be why?
On the right side, where you find yourself? The right side.
Why?
That's just what it is.
Huh? Why? Why is it just what it is? Because you're able to wear what you want to wear, right?
Yeah.
But out of all the choices on that day when you can make whatever decision you want, why you choose a dress?
To be free? I don't know.
Because it signifies the dress code of a woman. And now what the man have on? He have on the pants because
with
it signifies with the zipper, but it signifies that that's the article of clothing for a man and a woman because you can distinguish. I'm gonna read this real quick. I'm gonna let the next teacher give me Romans 1. Let me show you how you can separate, and then we're gonna go back to Deuteronomy to show you how God feels when He see women dressing outside of the operation of the clothing that He gave the women, and I'm gonna show you that it is a punishment in regards to when we are out of order dress code wise. Read what you got, Romans 1, I think in verse 22, 23.
The book of Romans, chapter 1 and verse 23. And change the glory of the uncorruptible God.
See, God is uncorruptible. So corruption can't intertwine with God, read.
Into an image made like to corruptible man.
And hey, y'all brothers, I need y'all to listen up as well. So, cause I got a question to ask all of y'all. Read what you got.
And to birds and four-footed beasts.
So this is going into us worshiping birds and four-footed beasts, because we turned those things into idols, read.
And creeping things. Wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts.
It says God gave us up to uncleanness, the lust of our own hearts, meaning our minds. Whatever our minds said we liked it, we entertained it, and we dealt with it, read.
To dishonor their own bodies.
You see what it said? To dishonor their own what? Bodies, read.
Between themselves, who changed the truth of God into a lie, and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. For this cause, God gave them up unto vile affection.
It said God gave them up because they didn't serve and worship God. He gave them up because they were serving birds, they were serving cows, whatever. They were serving animals instead of one true God, because who made everything? So how is you going to serve what God created much rather than serving Him? Read.
For even their women,
Yeah, who?
their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature.
What is the natural use of a woman? The natural use. No, I need him to get it. I know you know it. That's why I went to him first. What is the natural use of a woman? The natural use is going into a woman conceiving seed and having the child. That's how we're able to reproduce, right? To where we can continue to be a nation. So that's the natural use of a woman, read. But it says this natural use was changed, read.
And likewise, also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman.
It says the men leaving the natural use of the woman, meaning you're supposed to deal with a woman, right? Us men, we're supposed to deal with women. The women, y'all supposed to deal with us. But it says the men left that natural use, and who you think they start dealing with? You can go right up there to Atlanta, where they call it gay TL. Ain't there's a lot of man on man? Booty warrior? You ever heard the dude that got out of prison and was like, hey, listen, I like butt.
I like you, and I want you. Now we can do this the easy way, or we can do it the hard way. The choice is yours.
Yeah, Fleece Johnson. That's what we're reading about. The natural use has been taken from them, from the woman. He no longer liked the fulfillment coming from a woman, read.
Burned in their lust, one toward another. Men with men.
Men with what?
Men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error, which was meat.
So here it is, the Lord, since we didn't want to believe in Him, He gave us over to those vile affections where man began to like man, deal with man, and women began to deal with women. All because of what? We didn't want to keep His law, statutes, and commandments. Because we dress out of order. Now, here it is, the wedding. You can have a woman dressed like a man up there, two women up there, and a woman wearing a tuxedo and the other woman wearing a dress. There's no separation when it comes to what we just read, because they have wholeheartedly went after their sins. Now let me get you, go back to Deuteronomy 22 and 5, and then give me Zechariah the punishment for dressing out of order, which goes into the law of why God continues to let things like this happen. Read.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22 and verse 5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment.
So God said, if you cross-dressing, that don't supposed to happen. We know you possibly didn't know. They ain't teaching this in church. We didn't know at one point. So this ain't no personal attack against you, Reed.
For all that do so.
You hear what the God said? Everybody that do so, every woman that dress like a man, wear man clothing, every man that dress like a woman, wear women clothing, Reed.
Are abomination unto the Lord thy God.
You hear how God feels about that law being broken? You know what abomination is and how God feel about it? How? How you think God feel about abomination? In Sirach 15 and 3. And then give me Zephaniah. How you think God feel about an abomination? He says, everybody that do this, it's an abomination. What you say, what was your answer? Huh? He's not happy. How much unhappiness you think God has for it? A lot. Read.
The book of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 15 and verse 13. The Lord hateth all abomination.
How the Lord say he feel about it? He hate all abomination. So when we dress out of order, when we go against the laws that God gave us, here it is now, God hate that thing. That's how a lot of our people get killed. Here it is, you don't like men no more, and you want woman, you know what I'm saying? You want a woman and you a woman. Guess what? How are we able to populate as a nation? You cutting the population and the growth of our people out. Now give me that punishment. Zechariah, read.
The book of Zephaniah, chapter 1 and verse 8. And it shall come to pass, in the day of the Lord's sacrifice.
It says the day of the Lord's sacrifice. What you think that is? When something have to be sacrificed.
You gotta give something up.
Something like what? Something has to die. Yeah. Right, read.
That I will punish the princes and the king's children.
You hear what the Lord said? He's gonna punish. That's how you know something has to die. He have to punish the kings and the princes' children. Why?
And all such as are clothed.
As what?
As are clothed.
All those that are inappropriately, when it comes to God, clothing wise, read.
With strange apparel.
God said if he didn't deem it for you to wear it, it's considered strange. It's an abomination, like we read. So henceforth, guess what? God hate that thing, and you're gonna be punished for it. So these are some of the things that we have to come back into the order of with obeying God, so he can alleviate these curses from off of us as a nation of people.
Across the earth, the prophets move. From city streets to distant lands, the message is the same. Israel must rise. Through every quest, every journey, the truth spreads. No border can contain it. No distance can silence it. Our nation lives in every moment. In joy, we celebrate marriages. In sorrow, we honor our dead. On the Sabbath, we gather as one. Families rejoicing together, bound by the commandments of God. Yet are we tried. From the stones in Kenya to the hatred in Montana, we endure as a soldier of the Lord. And still, the mission expands. On the airwaves, on the screens, in every nation under heaven, Israel's voice is heard. We build our communities. We raise our children in royalty. We restore what was broken. We clean what was defiled. We show the world who we are. This is Israel united in Christ. Nation in motion. Nation endures.